So this is our SP9. It's a Shrink Potion 9. It's a formula that I make. We don't sell it. I actually put a video on YouTube how to make it, just giving back to the industry. So it's a sort of a freebie. I don't do an H pattern on these cars, and I tack this thing a little higher up than usual because the way the glass is shaped back here. So I'm gonna do a 60-40 split with my tack line. I'm gonna cover about 1 inch over the back right there. Okay guys, we got the film on and got it tacked off. You can see over here how it's stressed out and bunched up, and the reason it's that way is because the length of the film. I'm gonna cut this edge along with the line here. Tear it off. We'll do the exact same thing over here. That'll give us some relief, and I'm gonna cut along the bottom edge of the trunk, cut it even. Start right here and push this corner down flat and work this film over. I try to work the shrink in so our finger ends up over here. I'm going to go ahead and finish the center off. I'm going to break this up in 2 sections. Bruce and I have done a bunch of these. Bruce has got the camera today, but what I'm doing, you've seen the previous part. Now I'm just tacking this down right here. Now right here, and like I say, it's a dry shrink. So on this bottom edge right here, you really want to get your film laid down over here because you don't want to shrink the whole back glass. You just got parts you want to shrink. So now that we've got this laid like this, I'm going to do the other side the same way. Lay it down on these corners, so up top you can see there's very little to shrink up there. And all the reason I'm putting this on this bottom is to hold this down, because a lot of folks they fight this, and it pops up and they shrink another finger. The next thing you know, when you get on the inside, the film's shrunk too much to actually work. So that's why we're doing it like this. That's like, you know, these glasses scare a lot of folks to death, but the problem with it is they're looking at it wrong. It's these glasses don't require a ton of shrink. I mean, that's just the bottom line. But they just require you lay it down right, prep it right. You can see how it's popping up now. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't get it laid down and stretched over the glass right, and the same thing holds true when you're installing it. You squeeze it out the exact same way that you shrunk it. And, so now all we gotta do is work this pocket. When we do it, it's gonna shrink it in and bring some of the tension off of this. You can also see again, after we work this over like it needs to be, you have a lot of film over in the center. That's why when people start shrinking these cars like a traditional shrink from the center out, you're creating a problem. Start with your edges over here and work it in. And again, this last part down here, I wet shrink. I want to shrink that and draw it in where it needs to be. So I'm going to still do the dry shrink on here, but I'm going to spray our solution under that corner so it tacks it and holds it down as we're shrinking it. corner. You see the tension on it, how it's got it pulled and standing up. That tension does reverse once you put it on the inside. So like putting on a decal, you have to hold this up and chase the slip and the air out. If you try to just swipe over it, it'll fold and crease every time. And that, guys, is how you do the perfect shrink on the 3rd gen F body. We'll trim this thing out. You can see how much extra gap we put on it. We come nearly all the way down to the edge. There's no creases. It's gonna fit spot on. Just thought some of you guys would be interested in that. Old Bruce is doing the doors on this thing now, so we'll shave it, make it look like it needs to look. Once you're finished shrinking, this is exactly what it'll look like. This film is still on the outside. This is where everyone has trouble in this area. The last time we done one of these, we showed some of the stuff on it, but we didn't really get into detail because for whatever reason, there was a couple of comments that says, show it up close. We want to see the window up close. Well, this is 4K video. Now, if you see these spots, see, this is where they painted this car and they sanded that. There's several on this glass where they got the sander over on it. But here's where your problems come in at. There is none. There's no trash in this window. And this window, this glass is 63 by 38. That's a big old piece of film. And again, over here, of course, this is a scratch in the glass. You can hear it. This again is where they sanded this glass. But this thing come out great.